Okay, guys, yep, here's some more old messages from Google. Of course, that guy's a scammer. He's trying to steal my idea and make some money off it. Not the first time it's happened. You guys seen that in other videos. My man Embry, look, you've got something over here for me, and so does 1 day ago. Oh, 1 day ago. Okay, that's nothing. Good fix for very large holes, and there's a guy scamming my stuff. All right, Raul, I'm sorry, Moraes, let's go with that. What do you recommend using in place of water if you have no choice but to create an artificial cream in a given situation? All right. Well, go with the surface retarder if you know you have no choice. If it's too late, it's too late. But if because you're going to get delamination, you're going to get delamination. You're not going to be able to make that. Um, if it's evaporating that much where you allowed your surface to dry, if you add more water, it's going to do the same thing again, right? You're not allowing it to dry from the bottom out. You're letting the surface crust over. So if it's that bad, then if you add more water, what's going to happen? You've already shown it. You let the top get away already once before, not you, but people in general. And so it's going to happen again. You're going to just creating a thinner layer that will delaminate off the top of the concrete surface. Good news, it's really not structural at that point. It may be just like COVID. It might contribute to the death of the concrete a long time from now, allowing pores to open, allow water to get down there and go slowly between the layers. And in about 80 years, with rain and frost and freeze, it will fail. In other words, don't sweat it too much. Now, could you theoretically, it's a veneer you're putting back on top of it. But again, the sun is out there, you're losing your surface, it's evaporating on you. A surface retarder, you can call up any one of these companies and they'll help you through your temperature range that you're applying at. And they're the ones that I would reference. So I would give you advice, but I'd give you advice based on your temperature range that you're installing and what you're trying to retard. Now, it's not cheap. You put in a pump and you spray your surface as you're, say you're doing a 10 by 10 area, and for some reason, 10 by 10, right? And no, I can't come up with an example like that. 10 by 50, and you get the first 10 square foot down, and you got 40 feet to go, and the sun's kicking, but you got to keep going. The trucks are coming, right? So you go ahead and spray the first 10 feet, and as you screening off the surface, you spray this next area with the surface retarder. And when you finally get to the end, you're ready now to go back to the beginning and start finishing. Keep in mind, once you start finishing over that retarder, it's now you're back to concrete pretty much. The retarder theoretically is there, so it's going to still hinder your curing, and they chemically design it so you're not actually making an exposed aggregate where it's going to wash off. That it will act as it will still bond. You'll still have a bond with the existing concrete. And you can get hold of these companies here. So what I recommend is you contact them, you tell them what your problem is, and they tell you which one to purchase. Purchase it locally, and you might be down here at $30, things like that. Look around for it. Don't pay top dollar. You can also put while you're doing it, you can have some vinyl there. Some plastic. Damn it, some tarps. Some cheap plastic vinyl tarps, whatever they are. Plastic vinyl. Some tarps that you can lay over your surface while you're finishing your concrete. Now that's cheap, it's reusable, it's fast. It's going to stop your sun from hitting your surface and evaporating as much. It even protects against the wind if that's causing evaporation. Of course, you don't leave that there, because if you leave it there, you're going to make, when it surface, it will make a pattern in your surface. So when you're ready to start finishing, you can still go back to the retarder, finish, and spray. You might, if it's that sunny, you might finish 20 feet of the first part, and then go and and already start putting a finish on there, another surface protecting product, a retarder, a decelerator, if you will, for the surface, so it still dries from the bottom out. Instead of trying to finish the full 50 feet, if you try to do that, the first 20 feet might harden up the surface too hard. It might go down as much as a 1/4 inch, and now you've got a 1/4 inch of issues going on because it evaporated too quickly before the concrete could do a nice curing process. You basically started the concrete process of hydration, and then you remove the water. So you started it, activating it, and then you just removed the water, so it couldn't even saturate enough to get its high compressive strength ability. Now, ironically, people that overwater concrete, that faster evaporation might be worrying about shrinkage now in the concrete though. Might actually work in your favor if you can get it to all evaporate from the bottom up. You've gotten rid of the water, the cream, it's gone. All right, so that's got to count for removing your back to your, you remove that water, your fluid, your viscosity changed. You remove the water without removing the solids, the mortar. Did you displace the mortar and all that around there? Yes. Have they done concrete compression test on that? It's very small on the extra water, your loss of compression, your loss of compression rates. So, say it's a 3,000 concrete. Instead of pouring at 5, you pour it a 7 slump. It might only go down to 2,800. Look at your studies, but you got to follow their temperature range. They don't talk about their evaporation, how they get it, and they still do a curing. So you need real-world field tests that you would look for if you're going to search this. In other words, protect your surface. Know your condition. I did a video on this about the evaporation using a scale, and it shows you your wind, your surface temperature, your concrete temperature, and you put all that together, and your ambient temperature, put all together, and you see your evaporation rate. But you can see it yourself once you've been doing it for years. You'll see yourself, or for some time, you can see that, wow, that flashed off pretty quick. No way did it really flash off, did it? What's your surface? What's your ground surface first, so the water doesn't suck downwards, and you got drying in 2 directions. What's your ground surface? If you don't have a plastic on the ground, plastic, you don't have to wet it. It's going to stop, and all evaporation will go up. So if you've got a small area, sacrifice a $6 tarp. Lay it on the ground, lay a concrete on the tarp. Your water will be forced to come up and not down. It's awesome. It's cost you $6. Now you're going to get evaporation. You're going to have more surface water coming up. Bleed water is going to come up to the top, as it won't go down through that tarp. I'm going to end this video with those tips from my man right there, and let's see where that goes. Bye.